A declining pandemic, a potential booming economy. There's new hope this summer season, but can this recovery include everyone?
If it wasn't for my savings, I probably would have been struggling.
COVID-19 hit the wallets of Black Americans especially hard.
But now we're trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to survive?
Survival for some is day by day.
There is no nearby grocery store within miles.
Tonight, the money moves you should make now so no one is left behind. Plus,
we're in a competition for talent. We are in a competition.
The aggressive plan to make sure Hampton Roads doesn't bust as other regions boom. Is COVID the force that finally unites the 757?
We have to get over this idea that if one city wins, another city loses.
A 13 News Now special report, Left Behind, Struggles and Survival, starts now. Good evening. The stage is set for a return to normalcy this Memorial Day weekend. The mask mandate is no more, and at midnight, social distancing and capacity limits become history in Virginia. Life changed for all of us 442 days ago when the coronavirus officially became a pandemic. It wreaked havoc on cities, businesses, and people. Some struggled more than others. The fortunate stayed employed and saved money, while others lost their jobs and faced hunger. Economists predict a broad recovery ahead, but for some Americans, it could just be another year that they're left behind. From the looks of it, downtown Norfolk looks largely the same now as pre-pandemic. The tide never stopped running. Restaurants largely stayed open, and Scope Arena became a venue for vaccines instead of sports. But just across West Brambleton Avenue in the Young Terrace community, there's a struggle inside some of these homes made worse by the pandemic. It's something you probably wouldn't know unless you lived there.
In Norfolk, overall, the food insecurity rate is about 14.5%. In this community, the food insecurity rate is 57%.
I can't do it, man. Almost 3 out of 5 people in Young Terrace are food insecure, meaning they lack access to enough nutritious food for a healthy lifestyle. Emma Inman from the Food Bank of Southeastern Virginia and the Eastern Shore says the pandemic only exacerbated existing racial inequities. In other words, minority communities like this one were hit hardest this past year by hunger.
People had job loss, offices closed, restaurants closed, impacting folks' ability to bring home their regular income, and certainly that exacerbated the levels of food insecurity that we've seen.
The food bank saw the need in Young Terrace and opened this food hub half a mile from the old Save-A-Lot. It's basically a mini grocery store open for a few hours once a week. Neighbors can grab enough groceries to feed their family for that week, and they can do it for free with no questions asked.
To make matters worse, people who live in this area of downtown Norfolk live in a food desert. That means groceries are hard to come by, but it wasn't always the case. This used to be a Save-A-Lot store off Church Street, but it shut down in June in the middle of the pandemic, meaning people who live in this area were forced to find food elsewhere.
Getting healthy food to hungry people is a challenge not just in Young Terrace, but the entire region. Food insecurity jumped 20% across Southampton roads during the pandemic.
I mean, we got full all the way up, all the way up.
Every other month, the food bank hands out boxes of food at this drive-through food pantry at the Virginia Beach Amphitheater. Last month, they distributed food to more than 1,400 households, and they'll do it again in a few weeks.
Grateful just to know tomorrow is not a day that we have to worry about food.
Despite the coronavirus becoming more manageable, Inman fears the pains of the pandemic will last far longer for many of our neighbors.
Throughout the last year, we've had folks coming who have never before in their lives needed to reach out for charitable food assistance. We are expecting to see those impacts for quite some time.
The food bank was a lifesaver to those suddenly out of work, and food insecurity rises with unemployment. And those job losses this past year hit minorities especially hard. 9.5% of black female workers became unemployed, compared to about 5% of white women. A little more than 8% of Hispanic women lost their jobs. Let's dig a little deeper into the reasons behind the disparity.
when we have things that impact the country as a whole, you start to see where the disparities are by who is able to capitalize and who gets left behind.
Financial advisor Tremaine Wills doesn't want to see anyone left behind during the economic recovery, but she's concerned by the fact job losses during the pandemic hit black women the hardest.
Not only are we not making, as much as our peers, we don't have enough in savings, and so our income streams are cut off, and now we're trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to survive?
Survival, she says, was made easier for those with emergency savings. As a financial coach for black women, building a savings is something Wills preaches to her clients, like Shakia Gardner.
I didn't come back in the salon until August.
Gardner is a hairdresser by trade, but an entrepreneur at heart.
Your lashes look good, though.
Thank you, girl.
Her hair salon in Hampton remains open today thanks to her resiliency during the pandemic.
It's so soft.
And her access to savings.
We didn't even do the treatment. Savings definitely helped during the pandemic, because if it wasn't for my savings, I probably would have been struggling because my expenses are extremely high between, my salon and my businesses and my home. My expenses are extremely high.
When Gardner wasn't busy with the hair salon, she was building a new business online.
You are busy, You're always doing something.
Launching a website selling hair care products out of a warehouse in Suffolk. That business actually benefited from the stay-at-home economy. But while some forge ahead, others are left behind, and history tells us playing catch-up won't be easy. After the Great Recession of 2008, it took a decade for black women to recover from job losses. COVID wiped out most of those gains, and Chief Economist Janelle Jones from the U.S. Department of Labor says no economic recovery can be complete if some communities are left behind. She suggests targeted relief and addressing disparities in areas like pay, education, and housing.
The conversation has to be real, right? All of this goes back to equity. And if I know I'm in a position of power and I hold more equity, I have to be willing to give up some of that equity, because there's only 100% of the pie. And until we are willing to make that shift, we can have all the conversations in the world. Nothing will change.
And one Virginia Beach woman is doing her part to help minority women-owned businesses. Read more about this summer's competition with a $10,000 prize on 13newsnow.com. Up next, we're talking personal finance, the first step you should take to get back on track if you've struggled during the pandemic, and what to focus on now. And then later, rebuilding Hampton Roads' entire economy, the plan to make sure the whole region recovers quickly from these tough times.
I'm saving money for the animal shelter. Could I give Pixie a bath for $3?
Sure.
How about I keep your money in my bank? Just $7 a month.
We already have free checking from Atlantic Union Bank.
It's your money. Why pay a monthly fee or get hit with hidden charges?
Get a new truck during the Memorial Day sales event at Southern Ram. Trading in is trading up. Huge incentives and discounts. Plus low financing options that could possibly lower your current monthly payment. Only at Southern Ram in Greenbrier and Norfolk. Before you buy, give Southern a try. DrivingSouthern.com.
COVID is on the run, but let's keep at it.
Sign up and get vaccinated.
Working with communities at the state and local level, Centera Healthcare has administered over 120,000 vaccines and is helping vaccinate patients in underserved areas. A not-for-profit, Centera Healthcare has invested in quality patient care for over 130 years.
I'm proud to work for an organization that puts patients first.
Together, we'll get back to normal and build a healthier Virginia.
It's the last weekend of the Rooms to Go Memorial Day sale, so refresh your home today. Now through Monday, save on our huge selection of furniture, like this sectional, just $9.99 or $17 a month. Or this living room, just $27 a month, interest-free. Save on rooms like this. Or this, just $8.99 or $15 a month. Shop room by room and get low sale prices like this. With 60-month interest-free financing. Hurry, the Rooms to Go Memorial Day sale ends Monday.
Americans are sick and tired of paying the highest prices in the world for their prescription drugs. Now that Congress is finally working to change that, the big drug companies are working to scare you. Drug companies are spending millions attacking Representative Elaine Luria and others in Congress who are fighting to lower prescription drug prices. Tell Congress to keep its promise and let Medicare negotiate for lower drug prices. Let's get it done now.
When selling your home, you could do everything yourself. But if you have a RE/MAX agent, they know a team of experts who will get the job done right.
Blue skies and tequila sunrise. It's time to sip into summer. Just head to Virginia ABC to stock up on all your summertime essentials. Virginia ABC has more than 3,000 spirits, Virginia wines, and mixers for your own enjoyment or for getting together with friends. Shop in store or order online for delivery or curbside pickup. Sip into summer with Virginia ABC. Please celebrate summer responsibly.
What's my favorite vegetable?
Brussels sprouts.
My favorite color?
Green. Why the interrogation?
Mom said your identity was stolen, so I'm making sure it's really you.
We're good, thanks to Atlantic Union Bank.
Identity theft resolution services, free for Atlantic Union Bank personal checking customers.
Let's take a moment to talk personal finance. The pandemic disrupted even the best laid plans. So what money moves can you make now to make sure you're not left behind? Personal finance expert Bobby Rebell is the author of How to Be a Financial Grown-Up and is here with some advice. Bobby, let's say somebody wants to be financially responsible but has no idea where to start. What's the first thing they should do?
Well, first of all, I'm excited that they want to be financially responsible. That's a good thing. The next thing they need to do is think about what got them to that place. Were you looking at your bills and saying, oh my goodness, my debt is piling up. I need to get this under control. So focus on creating a strategy to get that debt under control. As I said, there's a lot of resources out there these days, including apps like Tally, which can make sure you pay your payments in the most efficient way possible. You also could think about maybe you were trying to buy something. Maybe it's time to buy a car to start going back to work. Well, you weren't able to get the best rate on the loan because maybe your credit score wasn't where it should be. So then focus on things you can do to improve that. And finally, you may be looking back at this pandemic and thinking, I wish I was better prepared. So that's a time to maybe look at your emergency funds and making sure you have that backstop, that cushion that makes you feel more secure.
Hey, speaking of that cushion, if you had to cut back on savings in 2020, what should be priority number one if you're ready to catch up now?
I think you know what I'm going to say. It is that emergency cushion. And you know what? We have trouble with that. So many Americans barely have, $400 for an emergency. So we need to change that mindset. One thing that really helps is to put things in buckets. So if you're excited, for example, about taking that vacation you really want to take, or finally getting out to the stores in person, save some money in those different buckets. You can even create different savings accounts. Banks will let you do this, no problem. And psychologically, it does really help to see those accounts growing. And of course, always automate. It's the best thing to grow those savings.
Bobby Rebell, sounds good, and thank you for your help and guidance today. Still to come, re-envisioning Hampton roads. As other regions boomed, ours was slower to recover from the Great Recession. What's being done to make sure the 757 is not left behind this time around?
Cooper Hurley took the case and got our family $300,000.
Great to see you. Good to see you, man. This campaign is about leading the way on criminal justice reform and police reform.
My proudest day, and you were standing right there beside me, was when we ended the death penalty.
Governor, we're reckoning with our past, and there's so much at stake in the future. And that's why I'm running for Attorney General, to continue to build upon the work that we've done.
Virginians are excited that Jay Jones is going to be the next Attorney General.
I'm so proud to have your support because we've got so much more to accomplish.
At Tidewater Community College, we're here to help you.
I'm here to help you navigate the career pathways you choose.
I'm here to help you turn your hobby into a career.
I'm here to share what I've learned from all my years of experience in the field.
I'm here to help you with any rough spots you might be having in your classes.
I'm here to help you get the money you'll need to reach your educational goals.
We're here to help you succeed. It's our promise to you: from here, go anywhere.
Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
And what makes a Subaru a First Team Subaru? The largest selection in Hampton roads, unmatched customer service, and First Team Forever. With every First Team Subaru, you'll get a nationwide warranty, oil changes, state inspections, and more forever. It'll save you thousands.
Love your car.
And love where you got it. First Team Subaru. Enjoy your ride.
The Dump moves out everything we've got any price we can get. Below retail is where we start. Below wholesale is what you get, and $100 more off that. 50% below cost to move out all 6 acres of brand new brand names by Memorial Day. $100 more on the house. A year of closeouts are coming in, so the Dump is moving out, taking your price far below our cost, and $100 back. To the Dump, to the Dump, to the Dump, Dump, Dump.
This pandemic is unlike anything that I have ever experienced. To see the devastating effect it has had on people's health, on education, I can think of no better person to tackle these issues than Terry McCullough. I've known Terry for years, and I personally called Terry and asked him to run for governor because we need someone with his experience right now. This is not the time for on-the-job training. It's time for a person who knows how to get the job done. Terry is that person.
Welcome back to Left Behind, Struggles and Survival, a 13 News Now special looking at the toll the pandemic has taken on our economy and personal finances. We'll get back to that in just a minute. But first, here's Nicole Livas with 3 things to know today.
Hey, Dan, we start in Virginia Beach, where police are putting out a new plea for information in a deadly shooting at the oceanfront. They released photos of clothing and jewelry worn by some men who witnessed Deshayla Harris's death. She got hit by a stray bullet during a night of chaos and shootings on March 26th. Take a good look here. Police are asking for the public's help to ID the men who wore these items. Number 2, Portsmouth Animal Control is investigating a dog training facility after 8 dogs died there. Virginia Beach Dog Training called it a freak accident and said it's in touch with the clients whose dogs died. Animal Control is looking into whether this was animal cruelty. And number 3, restaurants and hotels are gearing up for a busy Memorial Day weekend. They're facing some staffing troubles, but business owners in Virginia Beach say they're excited for people to come back as those restrictions end tomorrow. Just prepare for longer waits as everyone adjusts to the change. And those are 3 things to know right now. Look for the full stories coming up on 13 News Now at 6. Dan?
Okay, Nicole, thank you. Well, Hampton Roads has a growth problem. As the rest of the nation recovered from the Great Recession, our region struggled to keep up. We eventually recovered lost jobs, but at a much slower pace from other cities like Richmond and Charlotte. And local leaders fear history could repeat itself if they don't approach this downturn differently. Hampton Roads is beautiful and vast, complete with waterways and bridge tunnels, military and aerospace, history and pride, a complete package, but with a missing bow on top.
One of the things that we've always been criticized for in Hampton Roads is that lack of collaboration. 757 is a region that's one region, and we all need to come together.
Brian Stevens' job is to sell Hampton Roads. As Chamber of Commerce president, he's optimistic about the region's future, but he's not naive to the hurdles.
We're in a competition for talent. We are in a competition. Our competition is Charlotte. Our competition is Northern Virginia. Our competition is Chattanooga, right? And when you're in a competition, you've got to get aggressive.
Hampton Roads leaders like Stevens designed the 757 Recovery and Resilience Action Framework. It's essentially a playbook to come back stronger than ever before. It includes building regional unity, growing new jobs, and keeping talented workers here.
The question is not the vision of 757 recovery and innovation. There are great possibilities. It's whether we could get out of our own way at the end of the day to do it.
ODU economics professor Dr. Robert McNabb says the cities have tried before to come together, but unsuccessfully. He wonders if the painful memories from the last recession will affect change this time around. After the Great Recession, the United States and Virginia recovered all lost jobs in about 70 months, but it took Hampton Roads more than 100 months. And for every new job added in Hampton Roads last decade, the U.S. added 2. In terms of money, for every $1 of new output created in Hampton Roads, Virginia created nearly $3. The rest of the nation created more like 5. Clearly, Hampton Roads was left behind during last decade's expansion. Dr. McNabb points to our unique dependence on the federal government.
Defense spending accounts for approximately 4 out of every $10 in the Hampton Roads economy. Now you're saying, okay, we want to generate more growth. You don't control $4 out of 10. So you have to generate the growth elsewhere.
The Hampton Roads economic pie is divided into three big pieces: military, trade, and tourism. The pandemic took a big bite out of tourism, and growing a more profitable pie for the future requires adding more private sector jobs. The chamber has the same goal, but getting there means selling the region as one 757.
When you look at really successful regions and those regions that really recovered rapidly from the recession and are doing well to this day, they all come together for the greater good of the region.
Hampton Roads Alliance played a key role in drafting that recovery plan, and now they want your help seeing it through. You can sign up to become a 757 champion on their website and keep a close eye on the region's progress. If you're interested, I just tweeted out a link that'll take you here. Just search @13DanKennedy on Twitter. More than a year into the pandemic, the nation is still trying to make up all the jobs it lost when businesses and schools were forced to shut down. New numbers just in from the Labor Department show about 400,000 people filed new unemployment claims last week. It's the lowest it's been since mid-March 2020, a sign that the job market is getting stronger. The national unemployment rate today is about 6%. That's down from a pandemic high of almost 15% in April of 2020. The numbers are lower in Virginia. The unemployment rate is less than 5%. The highest it got in the pandemic was April 2020 at more than 10%. And in North Carolina, the numbers are higher than Virginia, but lower than the U.S. The current unemployment rate is 5%. The pandemic high was almost 13% last May. Even as businesses reopen and unemployment numbers drop, a lot of industries are struggling to hire, especially restaurants. We recently visited Virginia Beach Town Center, home to a lot of popular places to eat. But from business to business, help wanted signs hang in the windows. The general manager of Taste says finding people to fill those openings has been a challenge. It's even affecting how they do business and ultimately their bottom line.
We would love to expand our hours. Our customers would love for us to expand our hours. And in order to be able to do so, I just need some help.
It's not a new issue. About a month ago, we went to Paylone's Baja Grill, a chain of 3 restaurants in Norfolk and Virginia Beach. The staff was so stretched thin that the owner had to close all the locations on Mondays and Tuesdays.
We'll get, several dozens of applications, every week. And then when we try to call and set up interviews, then no one shows up.
Well, Paylone's has since reopened on Tuesdays at 2 of its 3 locations. Virginia is reinstating its weekly work search requirements, so anyone filing for unemployment has to provide proof that they're applying to at least 2 jobs a week in order to get those benefits. You may wonder, what about the people who worked in restaurants before the pandemic? Can't they just go back to those jobs? Well, it's not that simple. They had to find something new or remain unemployed. So some of them retrained in different fields as quickly as possible, everything from dental assistants to real estate. One woman told us she didn't want to put her son, who has asthma, at risk by working at a restaurant around so many people.
Handling dishes, handling food, handling glasses really concerned me.
A manager at the Virginia Beach staffing company Arvon says hiring managers should keep constant communication with candidates who are probably applying to a lot of openings. Keep them in mind. Keep them in the know as well. Ex-restaurant workers told us the pay incentives might draw them back to the industry too. Still to come on Left Behind, we look at how our local economy is recovering. Concerts back on the schedule at some of our area's biggest and smallest venues, how they're rebounding from a year of empty seats. And the tides are in. The big change planned at Harbor Park this weekend to bring cash back to downtown Norfolk. And summer festivals are back. The changes you'll see at one of Hampton Roads' biggest yearly events. And as we go to break, some national numbers to keep an eye on. The stock market doing all right today. Only the NASDAQ ended in the red. And mortgage rates remain steady for 15-year, 30-year, and the 5-year fixed interest rates.
It's the Rooms to Go Memorial Day sale. Shop and save big on this comfortable 2-piece leather set with reclining sofa and love seat. Just $16.88 or $29 a month interest-free in your choice of color during the Rooms to Go Memorial Day sale.
Homeowners are fed up with their high utility rates and they're tired of their power outages. Join the solar revolution, America. Right now, I'm making solar affordable with the first 12 months on us. Power Home Solar, it's time to own your power.
Your obvious choice for luxury and performance is a Mercedes-Benz of Virginia Beach.
with a large selection of new and pre-owned Mercedes-Benz at prices you can only dream of. Award-winning service and technicians who get the job done right the first time. Enjoy our state-of-the-art facility and a professional staff that is second to none. Think about it. It's the obvious choice for luxury and performance. Start your ride with Charlie today. Mercedes-Benz of Virginia Beach, a Charles Barker company.
Wrongful death cases are heartbreaking. They're also challenging because they are a different kind of trial, using different rules, different evidence, different witnesses. Even the available damages are very different from your average auto accident case. They require significant knowledge and experience. So Rudder Mills has established 6-member teams dedicated to these cases. It's what we do best. When you've got a different kind of case, you need a different kind of law firm. Rudder Mills.
At Dominion Energy, we're putting our energy to work, creating a cleaner environment by using cleaner energy sources like solar and wind. In fact, we're the 3rd largest in solar in the U.S., and we're developing the largest offshore wind project in the nation. Cleaner air and cleaner water. It's good for all of us. Dominion Energy. Actions speak louder.
If a girl from Petersburg can work her way through VMI to become a delegate who expands Medicaid and bring reforms to our justice system, anything is possible. I've spent my life helping people beat the odds. As a foster mom for kids in need and as a public defender protecting people from a broken system, we can do so much better than the status quo to lift up every last one of us. That's why I'm running for governor.
Vote Carol Floyd.
Homeowners are fed up with their high utility rates, and they're tired of their power outages. Join the solar revolution, America. Call us at 1-800-POWER90 and get the first 12 months on us. That's 1-800-POWER90. Power Home Solar and Generac, the new superpower in home energy.
It's the Rooms to Go Memorial Day sale. Shop and save big on this classic coastal bedroom set with complete queen bed, dresser, and mirror in your choice of 3 finishes. Just $9.99 or $17 a month interest-free during the Rooms to Go Memorial Day sale.
Welcome back to Left Behind, Struggles and Survival. Getting our economy back on track won't happen overnight, but with so many things about to reopen, it should get a boost this summer. Big events like concerts are coming back, bringing big bucks with them. The Veterans United Home Loans Amphitheater in Virginia Beach already has a few concerts on its schedule. Smaller venues are also drawing in musicians, comedians, and monster truck shows to get the cash flowing in Hampton Roads.
Tickets are on sale for the Eric Church concert, which will be in February, and Space Camp, which is the Grizz EDM show in December, is already sold out.
That's Richard Parison, the artistic director for Hampton Arts, saying things are looking up after 2020 forced the seats to stay empty.
We're hoping that we'll be able to restore at least 80% of the acts that we had to cancel.
Events like these are also a chance for you to make money. Venues all around our area need people to fill open jobs when these performances come to town. And sports will also help bring our economy back to life, and it's already happening in Norfolk. The Tides are in the midst of their first homestand of the 2021 season, and tomorrow Harbor Park opens at full capacity. Norfolk's other professional team, the Admirals, plan to play a full hockey season come October. And some big festivals are also returning to Hampton Roads this summer. One of them, the Virginia International Tattoo, starts in just 1 week. It's usually at Scope, but is moving outdoors to ODU's SB Ballard Stadium this year. Military bands, drummers, dancers, and more will perform. And the festival will honor World War II veterans who were supposed to be honored during last year's festival, which was virtual due to the pandemic. No doubt, COVID-19 took a huge toll on our economy and, more importantly, on the people who kept it running. But there's hope on the horizon. It won't happen overnight, but we will get back on track. Thanks so much for tuning in to Left Behind, Struggles and Survival. I'm Dan Kennedy. Today's top headlines start now on 13 News Now at 6.
Now it's